Hey, what's up? Mr. E here, and in this video I want to talk to you about putting equations in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, why don't we begin with a warm-up for this video, and let's just go over the basic mechanics of solving an equation. So this is a three-step equation we got here. So when you solve these in algebra class, normally you would do something like this. Subtract 8 on both sides. The 8's cancel out here. You're left with negative 5x. Right? This comes down. The equal sign comes down. 48, take away 8 is equal to 40. Bring down the minus 10x. And then we can bring this to the other side by adding 10x on both sides of the equation. These will cancel out. 10x take away 5x is equal to 5x. Bring down the equal sign, bring down the 40. Divide both sides by 5. X equals 8. So what I want to look at is, I want to look at the basic steps that you took here to solve this equation. The first step you took was you did the additive inverse. We call that the additive inverse. You did the opposite of adding 8 here, so you subtracted 8 on both sides. And then you also did the additive inverse again here. Additive inverse when you added 10x to both sides. And then over here, you did the multiplicative inverse when you divided both sides by 5. So there's a reason why I'm going over this, because this is going to come in handy for our lesson that we are looking at today. So let's look at what the standard form of a line looks like. Standard form of a line is y equals mx plus b. And what I want to do for you is I want us to put the following equation in y equals mx plus b form. Here it is. So I want us to put 3x plus y in y equals mx plus b form. I want it to look like this, to be in that form, in that manifestation. So there are some guidelines, and these guidelines, they come from basic equation solving, and it's just one major guideline. What you're going to do is you're going to use inverse operations to isolate y. That means to get y by itself. Inverse operations such as the additive inverse and the multiplicative inverse. So here we're going to use the additive inverse to move the 3x to the other side. So we're going to perform the additive inverse of 3x. So that will be minus 3x minus 3x. These will cancel out, and I will be left with y and only y on the left side. Bring down the equal sign. Now look, these two terms here, they are not like terms. Not like terms. See how this has a variable and this is just a constant? It does not have a variable. You cannot combine them. I repeat, you cannot combine them. So you have to leave them separate. So we're going to write this as negative 3x minus 4. And you see how now it looks like y equals mx plus b form? Are you starting to see how this is looking like this? That was our goal. We wanted this equation in that form, y equals mx plus b, and we got it to do that by using inverse operations. Let's try another one. Put the equation below in standard form. Okay, so first, we're going to use the additive inverse of negative 4x. So we're going to, this time, add 4x to both sides. These will cancel out, and you're left with 2y. Then you got your equal sign because this canceled out. And again, these cannot be combined. They cannot be combined. They are not like terms. So you will leave it as 4x. That's a positive number, invisible plus sign there, so I'm going to write plus 8. Now, does it look like it's in standard form? Does it look like y equals mx plus b? Not quite, because in y equals mx plus b, the y, this y here, has to be by itself. And here, we got a 2 in front of the y, so we have to get rid of that 2. The way you get rid of that 2, that coefficient, is by doing the multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative inverse. And you remember what that was, right? That was dividing. So we're going to divide everything by 2. I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by 2. So these will cancel out. You'll be left with y. Bring down the equal sign. So you're dividing the 4x by 2, and you're also dividing the 8 by 2. So 4x divided by 2 is 2x. 8 divided by 2 is positive 4, so we write plus 4. And you see how now it's in y equals mx plus b form? And that's pretty much how you do it. All right, so to summarize, this video was about putting equations in standard form. That's y equals mx plus b. And here are some steps for you to do that. Well, they're not really steps, they're more like major guidelines. And you're going to use inverse operations to isolate y. You're going to use inverse operations to get y by itself, such as the additive inverse and the multiplicative inverse. So here you see here, additive inverse, forgot an E over here, additive inverse, then multiplicative inverse. Okay, so those are just some guidelines. Sometimes it might take, more than 2 steps to do it, but for the most part, you should be able to do it in 2 steps. Okay, I hope this video helps. Take care.